Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing retirement visas and we're sort of comparing these to marriage visas. I went ahead and made this video because I received the following comment on this channel, quoting directly, "Hi Benjamin, in your opinion, why are there different financial requirements for non-O based on retirement as opposed to non-O based on marriage? And again, in your opinion, would immigration look more favorably or be less stringent when assessing an application made by someone who had been married for many years as opposed to someone who had only recently been married?" Well, good questions. The first one regarding why are there differences, I think it prioritizes people who are married to Thais. I think if you read the Immigration Act, there's a lot of prioritization for those who are related either by blood or marriage to a Thai national when it comes to their abilities to get a visa to Thailand. There's also ramifications in the context of Thai work permits. For example, different ratios of employees to Thai employees to foreigners in the context of work permit and visa extension applications when you're working for a Thai company and you have to maintain work permit status. There's a different ratio requirement and it pertains, or I should say it's contingent upon, it's different depending on if you're married to a Thai and have a Thai marriage visa as opposed to just a standard business visa. So yeah, I think at one level, and perhaps you could say at a policy level, they want to encourage marriage. If you're in a relationship with a Thai, you get more benefits being married to a Thai from an immigration standpoint. I can't totally say that's what they were thinking for certain, but it would seem that that may have played into things. With regard to the financial requirements, sort of when you're comparing retirement visas to marriage visas, well, I see this a lot. We see this in the context of resident visas often, and permanent residence applications. For example, someone who's unmarried does not have a Thai spouse, does not have Thai family. There may be higher financial criteria to meet in order to apply for Thai permanent residence compared to someone who is married to a Thai and has a Thai family, or married to a Thai. Even if they don't have children, there may still be a lower criteria, lower threshold on finances to meet. I think, again, it's basically the law or the policy, and it's reflected in the law that, those who have a relationship to Thailand with sort of a blood relative or a marriage, a spouse, they're going to get prioritized. And I think there's just at a policy level, that was deemed to be sufficiently a positive thing that they wanted to encourage, or at least I should say they wanted to provide priority for those folks compared to someone who did not have those relationships with Thailand or the people of Thailand. Just quoting again, in your opinion, would immigration look more favorably or be less stringent when assessing an application made by someone who had been married for many years as opposed to someone who had only recently been married? Candidly, yeah, maybe. It's been my experience that, frankly, I don't really know that they get that deep in their analysis of a given case that way. What I would say is, I would say it's more controlling whether or not a person had a work permit as opposed to whether or not a person had been married for any given length of time. Where we usually see there being more issues with marriage visa, especially marriage visa extension or evidence associated with finances in a marriage visa context, we usually see that in the context of someone who doesn't have a work permit but has been in Thailand a prolonged period of time. I have seen immigration officers just straight up ask, why aren't you working? What do you do? And this can sometimes be problematic. In some cases, they're just retirees. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I have seen, especially with younger folks, work permit may be an issue. But no, I've never seen where longer term marital status has really had a critical impact on the adjudication of an O marriage visa.